much left to do, but instead...
December is my song that I wrote in quarantine. The main chorus line, "So my friend, you just remember every year has its December," is actually from this poem book that I found that was like my great-grandmother's in just my parents' house. It was sitting there, I was interested. It was just like in a stack for some reason. It interested me, and it's just like filled with all these little liners and poems, you know, from like the early 1900s or something. But anyways, there was a poem in there that just said, "So my friend, you just remember every year as it's December." And I thought it was such a good line and talked about, I just thought it was such a good line that described change in such a honest, positive way. So, I don't know. First, I was just writing and I wanted to use that in a song, but a couple months passed by, started thinking about quarantine, just thinking about all the crazy changes in my life going on, and December came out of all of that. So definitely probably my favorite song on Harmony House. It feels like the most personal, I guess maybe because it's the most recent, but I don't know, I just love this song. So it all started, I wrote it all on my Wurlitzer 2, which isn't in my studio. It's in my living room, but I wrote the whole thing just on piano and then came to record it, which the piano parts I later translated to the synth, which is my JX3P, which I love. It's all over Harmony House. The synth sound actually, I mean the song December, so you can kind of think like, oh, maybe it's a Christmas song. It's got kind of like some Christmassy vibes, really. But one of my favorite Christmas songs is Wonderful Christmas Time, Paul McCartney, because of the synth sound. And so I tried my best to actually replicate it. So this was my attempt. And that just goes through the whole song, playing live. We've got some other synth transitions here. A Wurlitzer comes in on the chorus. Just layering. D50. Playing the little hook line. It's just like a really optimistic song. Talking about, you know, in my opinion, some pretty weighty things. And that's just my goal, you know, with the music that I make, to talk about things that really matter and are deep in our hearts, but just talk about them positively. So December, I think, accomplished that. Yeah, there's some like tape stop sounds. That's kind of a cool thing I did like here. And that's just the synth chord I played out. Just the main synth is running through this Abbey Road's vinyl plugin that I have, and you can like stop it right here. So I automated a stop. Yeah, that's all the synth parts. We've got the synth fills, the JX3P, D50, Staccato Heaven, which is kind of like a Fantasia patch. It's just very nostalgic. Just sounds like magic, you know. And I just wanted this song to feel really like whimsical and, I don't know, kind of like Mary Poppins-esque. And I have the song whistle patch going on in the back, which was just a random little line, which I think actually the hook came from that recording, so I just left it in. There's some wrong notes in there, but you know, who cares? But yeah, I played that on my JX3P as well. And then I ended up getting one of my keyboard player, Nori. He has a friend named Marshall Lowry who's just incredible on saxophone. And I emailed him the song, a saxophone part that I had played via MIDI. And I was just like, hey, could you play this? So he sent saxophone over. Just awesome. And just layered it with the staccato sound, and it just sounds so so magical. Yeah, but so we've got some saxophone, does a little saxophone solo at the end, which I just played on piano and then sent to him. But yeah, that's all the synth sounds. And guitar, the same as a lot of the Harmony House songs. The guitar is really simple. It's just like just dancing around the root to give it more of a funk sound. On the choruses it goes and plays the lead line. Yeah. And that was just a first take. I was just jamming and I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll use it. Yeah, and then the bass, it's got like a octave funk jump thing going on to it. Just pretty simple in the verses. And the chorus, it does the octave thing. Just very sneaky. It sounds like a cartoon. Just very, I don't know, yeah, bouncy sounds in this song, which is so fun to me. Yeah, and then the drums are all MIDI, just playing but adding a lot of plugins to make it sound more real. This is actually a great plugin called Snare Buzz, which is free. I forget who makes it. Waves? No, not Waves. It starts with a W. I don't know, Snare Buzz, it's free. But what it does is it'll like make it sound like you have a little bit of feedback from like a snare buzzing, or at least the way that I use it. So I put it on the kick to make it sound like it's actually mic'd. And then I have it running through some other, you know, plugins, hats, Logic's percussion for bongos and fills, and another kick to add more punch. And then a tambourine and a shaker on the choruses. And the drums are all going through a little bit of a chamber reverb to make it sound like it was recorded in a real room. I go through extreme measures to make my drums that are fake sound real. Although they are real drums recorded, I don't know. I just wanted to feel good. I know I said in the earlier video that I didn't care about, I think on Close to You, I was like, I don't care about drum sounds. Drums are one of those things that I'm really not too peculiar about. This just proves to show that I just changed my mind. I mean, I really put a lot of energy into making sure that the drums have energy and feel real sometimes. Silco, which is a cool, it's like compression plugin, and then tape it's all busting through this tape, and I have it slightly with a slapback delay. It's kind of like a thing that like the Beatles would do on drums. That's it, like really turned up. But it just gives it like a little bit more of a swing, because the song is very swung. But yeah, that's all the instrumental going on. Let's check it out. Let's solo these puppies. something about a saxophone just sounds so, I don't even know how to put the word on it. It's just like, I just become a dad. This song just makes me feel like I have kids and I'm watching them grow up. And then on the outro, it fades out and changes tempo. Then we've got just some Mellotron sounds. Some little magic going on. It's a guitar going through a granular delay. Okay, so let's check out the vocal processing. This song is definitely a lyric song, like I really emphasize the lyrics to be one of my favorite parts as well. But we've got a center vocal like we normally do, left and right,
You said you've got so much left to do.
Everything's going through a little bit of a slap.
You're just pacing round the
A lower vocal. Just add a little bit more grit and warmth. It's just super saturated.
Yourself
harmony,
doesn't feel like it
and then an
used
effects
to.
only layer.
All these changes don't have to get so strange.
Going through Echo Boy.
So my friend, you just remember that every year has its December. There's gonna be days that you just pass.
Really, vocals are pretty simple. It doesn't do too much except for every once in a while just an automated vocal. Actually, this is a cool part. Just the echo goes up and then, cuts off right before alright. That kind of James Taylor-ish, adding all these baby, alright, ooh, ooh. I love that kind of stuff. Yeah, and then the outro vocal, I wanted it to feel, I did the same thing on Whoa Man, where the magic of production and all of the effects go away, and it's kind of like me saying the line that, it's almost like I'm speaking to myself, the way I kind of view these moments where it's just a very saturated field recording type sound where I repeat the chorus. I wanted it to feel like I'm like in the room with you as a friend telling you this thing. Yeah, so the song cuts off, tempo changes after this saxophone solo, then we go to the outro vocals.
So my friend, you just remember that every year has its December. There's gonna be days when you don't feel like you, but that's what seasons do, they change.
Something kind of fun. I wanted this album to all just feel like it kind of is referencing each other. There's a lot of melodic moments, like the whole da-na-na-na-na-na-na Harmony House like theme that's in every song. There's some moments where songs cross over, but December and Moving Out at the end of the album are kind of like a front and half, or a front moment, like a back moment of like this whole thing that I'm going through. Because I kind of want the listener to view the album chronologically, that you're going through, starting with something, ending with Like Ivy, growing up. Like you're growing up as you listen to the album. But December and Moving Out, aside from both being in the same key, I feel like kind of are talking about the same topic, and I don't fully experience it until Moving Out. But December is kind of like the forefront of the idea. But anyways, the melody right at the end is the same chord progression of Moving Out. It might be time to let somebody in. Yeah, fun fact. But yeah, that's December. Let's check out one chorus, see if it'll play for us. thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed Harmony House. And yeah, I wish the best for each of you. So glad that you're here and watching these videos, and yeah, wishing you the best. Okay, bye-bye.